I met a gypsy.
What was it like in Supercars? We haven't even spoken.
No, we haven't spoken Supercars. Supercars was cool. Well,
it was that same attitude.
it was that attitude. It was very political. Supercars are very, very political in sponsorship wise, very political in manufacturing, as in the manufacturers, so Holden and Ford. Very political, and like I raced Supercars for 10 years.
Fuck, was it 10 years?
10 years. When I had my accident at Bathurst was 10. Yeah, from 98 to 2008. And so end of 2000.
And that was like the GFC.
Yeah, so end of 2005, I stopped racing full time, and just done the enduros. And then in 2008, I had the big crash at Bathurst where I got hit in practice.
You didn't get hit.
I got nailed.
You got fucking
drilled,
smashed.
Yes. And I was very, very fortunate to.
Yeah, that's great. That's crazy.
To live in that. And
what like physically what happened in that?
So I split my spleen. I broke.
No way.
I broke my L1 to L5 fractured, and punctured lung.
That is such a huge impact.
Yeah.
With a roll cage.
With a roll cage.
In a safety harness.
Yes.
With a helmet.
Yes.
Like as safe as you could make that car.
Yeah.
Almost died.
Exactly. And
do you remember it?
I remember getting hit. I remember going into the ambulance, but I don't remember the trip down the mountain. But I remember being in the medical centre, and remember having to wait. We were holding the helicopter up because my wife was in Orange, and so they had I stayed at my mate's house, Tim Lay, in Orange, and so I used to stay there before the race and then come down the race week, and then my wife Emma would go and stay with his wife. And then come over on the Saturday or whatever it was for the race, basically Sunday. And they had the TV on, had it on the TV, and had the TV on mute. And they were walking past the TV, getting ready. They were going out to a winery.
Because it's just practice.
So they were going out for a winery on Friday. And anyway, Emma's getting phone calls, and she's, I don't know, getting ready or whatever. And Tim, she finally answers, and Tim goes, "You need to get your ass here now." "Oh, why? What for?" "We're going for lunch." He goes, "Get in the car, get in now, as fast as you can." And so they knew nothing of it until Tim rang because the TV was turned off. And so we were waiting for her to get to the track so that the helicopter would take me to Sydney to Westmead. And they had no passes or anything like that, and somehow they just drove straight through, She straight to the medical centre, and straight on the helicopter. And when we got to Sydney, and she was telling me how good of a view was of the Blue Mountains and all that shit, and I was looking at the fucking roof of the helicopter, and I'm like, "That's great."
Good to know, honey.
Yeah, great to know. Thanks for that. And then they pull me out of the helicopter and wheel me out, and she's like, "Oh, hang on, let's get a photo." And I'm like, "For fuck's sake, let's not get a photo.
I'm dying."
Yeah, let's get a photo in emergency. And this dude stuck his finger up my ass, didn't even get his name.
Didn't even buy you a drink.
Didn't even buy me a drink. Didn't even exchange numbers.
That's
Nothing.
New South Wales for you.
I know, exactly. Disgusting they are. But, like it's, that thing. And what actually happened was I was in spinal and neuro in Westmead, which is really like very good hospital. And the doctor come in, or physio come in about 2 days later and said, "Oh, have you been up and about?" And I said, "No." I said, "Mate, I can't move. Like I'm, just so sore, I can't move." And, I was purple and orange and red and, yellow down around my back and down each side of my package. And so he's like, "Oh, we got to get you up and get you rehabilitated." And hopped up, tried to take one step and just screaming. And he's like, "Something's not right." Anyway, so he's lie back down. So he went and got the X-rays, went to the spinal surgeon, and who was on call that day. And the spinal surgeon comes in and goes, Yeah, the reason why you scream is you've broken your L1 to L5 and they missed it in intensive care when I come through in emergency.
Which happens a lot.
Yeah. And so anyway, so that was that. And then he's like, oh, you can go home. And I'm like, oh, well, can I fly? And he's like, no, you can't because you've nicked your lung. And we're like, what about a helicopter at a low level or whatever? You know, everything, nah, you got to drive. And so Emma had to drive home. And she hit every pothole on the way home from Brisbane to Sydney to the Gold Coast. I swear, on purpose.
Surely.
Yeah, had to be. but you know, like that was a supercar thing that ended it then. That was the end of it.
And so like that crash, GFC.
Yeah.
Just put the pin in it.
Yeah, and we were sort of getting out. We wanted to get out like end of 2005. I think 2006 we had the team sold.
Oh.
And it fell through.
Huh. Who was buying it?
John Marshall, Marcus Marshall's old man. And it fell through at the end when he didn't turn up with the check at the lawyer's office.
Mm.
And
just stood you up.
Yeah, stood us up.
Wow.
It was very nice of him.
How much was that going to be worth?
I think it was like 8 million or something.
Yeah.
At the time. Yeah. So like supercars used to be.
Yeah, it was big business back then.
It was big business back then, you know, like you get good money from, it was a Vesco back then, who put the races on. And like we used to get $1 million a car back then per car.
And that was from the promoter?
Yeah, from the promoter. It was TV money, basically.
Yeah, right.
So it was appearance money. And like we ran in 2003 when we ran Team Brock with Jason Bright and myself driving, I think we ran 2 cars on $3 million and we finished second in the championship.
Really?
Yeah, Jason finished second in the championship. 2004, he could have won the championship, but didn't win the second again or third. And that was a Marcus Ambrose era.
Yep.
And all that sort of stuff. So, you know, like it was, you know, for what we'd done, it's sort of like what we're doing now. We're a small team. We punched above our weight. We spent the money in the right areas and we had a crack.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what we've done the whole time in motorsport.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.